It is positively coastal this morning. I'm just out here checking what the cows had overnight. Gonna move their front line. I think I'll leave the back line set up the way it is. Tomorrow I'm gonna go cut a small field that I just picked up just for first cut just now. I think it'll be a good, if I can get in there, I gotta talk to the landowner's gonna show me tomorrow where access and danger points and stuff are. He's been haying it for the last couple years. They have a small hobby set up. They make small round bales for local goat and horse people. So I'm gonna check that out. But when I do that tomorrow and I've got the mower hooked up, I'm gonna top this section of the field. Looks like they did a pretty good job. I kind of forced them to graze this last night. That's what the division line looks like between the two going up. Clearly they munched this off pretty well, so it's not going to be a lot to top, and that's going to be perfect. All right, so I'm going to set to move this front line, leave the back line where it is for now. I'll move it up tonight or first thing in the morning, I guess. I want to figure out how to get the heifers up in here now, because once this is topped, there'll be a lot of residue on the ground that the heifers can graze. So we'll get a back line set up back there. This will be their front line, and then we'll go forward from there. But I've got to, I got to get all of this topped at once. So we'll give the cows this section now, and we'll get started with the day for, what is it? Tuesday, the 7th of July. 7th of July. By rights, on a day that looks like this, as damp and cool as it is, I should be considering either spreading more manure, don't have a place to spread it right now, or putting some urea out. Now I could successfully put out urea at Farnsworth, at Labrie, and on the section that I just spread manure here. However, I just saw a patch of blue up there somewhere, right there. Little patch of blue out there has me doubting that the 1/10 of an inch of rain predicted for right now is going to happen, and that the possibly 2 or 3/10 tonight is going to happen. I'll believe it when I see it. So for this rain, I'm just grateful for any moisture hitting the ground, because I did my grass walk yesterday, and grass growth is not impressive. It is really weak, and a large part of that is down to lack of moisture. We've had temperatures, perhaps too hot a temperature that causes the grass to stall out. However, some of the wetter paddocks that I measured yesterday are some of the strongest growing paddocks. So we know that grass growth is just equaling what the cows eat a day across the entire grazing platform. Here, it's actually, because the cows are eating it, I get a negative number, so we're a wash. I know going into this field, the cows were eating slightly less than this field was producing every single day growing grass. But some of the best performing fields are doing like 46 kilograms per hectare, which isn't great, but okay. They're doing that a day. Whereas some of the poorest are doing like 2 or 5. So the moisture is definitely needed. And also, I'm really still struggling to up the fertility and lime and all the pH of the soil. So that's all got to be factored into it. All right, I'm gonna go get ready for milking and figure out today's next moves. cutting a field I haven't cut for about 7 years. It's a really nice big field, and I had been cutting it when I did some work for another farmer, and they stopped cutting it a few years ago, and the people who own the property have been taking a cut of hay off of it to sell. But unfortunately, he's laid up with a bad shoulder and some kind of hand surgery, so he can't perform the tractor work. He's hoping he'll be better by second cut, so he said, go ahead. And I asked him, because I knew the farmer had passed, and I didn't realize they'd been doing this themselves. So he said, yeah, go ahead and take first cut this year and help us out get second cut. I'll let the horse flies in here. They'll let second cut take over, and they'll take a cut on second cut. Hopefully he'll be better. So it is way better than I expected. It is really nice down here. There's a lot of timothy that is only just now starting to go to flower, and tons of vetch and clover and sandfoin and bird's foot trefoil. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be some decent silage. I'm going slow because in the past when I cut it, this field was a bit of a nightmare, and it doesn't seem like much has improved. They did take out the sheep fencing and the old sheep huts that had been here. They ran pigs for a while, but I don't think they're running them anymore, and I don't think they pastured them. So pretty high quality feed, and I'm just gonna set to a little bit of a problem. I'm in eco mode. I've only got a half a tank of fuel. I'm hoping I can get it all cut, because I wanted to get started on this. I got stuff to do at the farm this afternoon, but I'm gonna have to make a run to the gas station for diesel, because our diesel tank is empty on the farm, and I didn't order it in a timely fashion, and now we're in a bit of a cash flow crisis. So I'm gonna have to just buy it 20-30 gallons at a time rather than 300. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue, but hopefully I can make it and get all this mown. I'm not sure on this little field how fast I can go. It's kind of bumpy. That is, oh, what the heck is that? I mowed through some branches. Dang it, I'll have to, all right, I got to stop and get these branches out of the way. I'm about an hour into cutting, and I have to say I'm not as far along as I thought I'd be. The ground is uneven and bumpy as hell, but the crop is one of the thickest I've cut in a long time. Yeah, this is a proper crop of meadow grass. It is thick. It's got all the right stuff in the bottom. Vetch, clover, sandfoin, bird's foot trefoil, I named it all before. Rye, timothy's just starting to flower. There is this annoying ditch right here I gotta be careful of. But anyway, it is a thick crop. So I'm not exactly sure how many acres. He said 10 or 12, but people have, I have trouble judging acreage, so not really sure how much I'm actually cutting. I forgot to set up the GPS app to help me determine that, but I think I got to plan a couple days of baling here. Tomorrow I'll come back, I'll rake and start baling, and then probably Friday I'll have to finish baling, because just these two small fields, which are probably 6 acres, I imagine there's probably 3 or 4 bales to the acre. So that's 6 times 4 would be 24. That's as much as I can do easily to haul back and get wrapped. Now I am cutting in from the fence line quite a ways because he said that he had some ditches and things and rocks that he didn't want me to run into, so I did stay off the fence lines a ways. But yeah, this is going to be a crazy amount of grass. Now I'm starting on the big field, and there are sections of the big field that I won't mow because they're too wet. So there's that to consider. So I'm just taking it slow and easy because I've already encountered limbs and brush and a little he makes micro round bales, so I encountered some of them off to the edge that must not have gotten picked up or something. Alright, here's this super wet section I've got to skip. So yeah, there's some more round bales over there in a ditch. So yeah, I'm just taking what I can take and not being greedy or anything. Doesn't make sense to be greedy. There is some slight issue because there's a bunch of garbage in the middle of the field on this big field. But I'm super happy. I'm super grateful that they're allowing me to cut this because it's going to be higher quality than anything else I'm going to get the rest of first cut, that's for sure. Yeah, and I just got to be super careful because I can't have damage either to the land or me or the equipment. I'm going to finish, when I get done with this field on the weekend, I'm going to cut that oboling protected field. They've given me the go-ahead. They had some Nature Conservancy person come out and investigate. And they gave the go-ahead to cut that. Real careful up here at the head because there's another ditch in my way. Alright, we'll just keep going around and around. I'm surprised. Hit a big old stone and now it's not cutting. I gotta stop the mower and see if I broke blades or damaged something. The whole thing's vibrating like crazy now. Stupid stone, I didn't see it. Barely poking up out of the ground. Dang, I was going good, getting the field cut. You know, hopefully it's just a damaged blade. That's the bloody culprit right there. So yeah, I can't pull it out. It's in there. Guess is the outer knives are gone. I guess all knives are gone. Almost stopped. As soon as it stopped, I'll figure it out. That's one of the blades that came off. Found it lying in the grass. So good to get that out of the field. Save that as a spare emergency blade. Yeah, that was abusive. It's rough. And the field is bumpy as hell. So I had to replace 6 blades. I don't know if the stone took all 6 out or if there was missing some. I was getting a pretty decent cut before, but yeah, that's definitely not skookum. So just got to get going again. And let's get this field finished. I think I've only got about 45 minutes left. Mowing is really easy. Just going around and around in circles, right? Well, not so much. Constant pitfalls. Not only have I hit stones, and I've got to keep a constant eye out for stones, but there's real big dips and holes in the fields. There's wildlife that I don't particularly want to kill. And today, my special guest in the field, thankfully, has been a very white dog, and Puffer's been pretty good about staying out of my way, but a couple times she crossed in front of the tractor and I had to stop. Ooh. Like right here, this is abusive. Me to the equipment, it's so bumpy. I'm nearing, this is the last little rectangle here, and Puffer's gone off. She was hunting for dead mice and voles in the windrow, in the swaths. But yeah, it's in a big, easy, open field, it wouldn't be so bad. But in these smaller, 12-acre and lower fields, it's just anybody's guess, and they're not well maintained. As soon as someone says they've been brush hogging the field, you kind of know it's going to be pretty rough. I've been able to go 5 miles an hour only occasionally. Usually it's a lot slower than that. But still, I think I made pretty good time. We're nearing on 1 o'clock, so I've only been over here a couple hours. And I gotta make a guess. I'm thinking easily north of 30 bales. Possibly even up to 50 bales. Just depends. So I gotta try and get over here. As soon tomorrow as I can, so I can get this raked in a somewhat timely fashion and get 24 bales made day 1 and probably whatever the rest day 2. Friday is a lot easier day for me to work on baling all day than Thursday, because Allison's gone on deliveries Thursday and I gotta milk twice. And not that it takes a lot of time. Morning milking, I'm basically doing that while the dew's drying off the field. Whoa! Wow. I don't understand how the old guy does this field in a 50 horsepower tractor with a sickle bar mower and small equipment. They must just go real slow. I mean, I'm going real slow, I think, but abusive. So yeah, I'm just gonna hope this stuff wilts down. It's real nice. It's real thick. I'm gonna consider myself super lucky. I'm glad I went out of my personal comfort zone and drove down a driveway I wouldn't have normally driven down. It's only because I've cut this field once before, and I don't remember the condition back then, except there used to be a big fence right here dividing 2 halves. That fence is no longer here, thankfully.
So I'm doing something I said I wasn't going to do a couple months ago. I'm topping the field. And that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to reset the growth. So we're starting back to scratch like it was spring, as if, and it's getting all the grass at the same growth point, so the stuff that the cows have rejected will start growing lush and tender again, and I'm knocking back the woody stuff, the stuff with too much lignin in that they're not going to eat. Now, by rights, I should probably send the heifers in here to clean up what I've got, and I might do that in a day or so. This will basically dry down the hay. It's unfortunate that this mower leaves a swath in the center of the two drums that kind of crowds out the grass right under the swath. It doesn't lay it out. I have no option to spread it. And I'm not about to come through here with a different tool. It is a little hard on the mower because this field is so rough and it's got a lot of stone in it. In fact, I just hit a stone with the mower knives that I just put on from hitting the knife, the stone over the other field. So I don't know if I've lost that one or what. In this case, we're also spreading out the manure paths that I'm also spreading out the. Just bit another damn stone. That's the problem with spreading stone. Manure, the stones come out of the manure spreader, and I hit them with the mower and dull knives. I'm also breaking up the clumps of manure that I spread, and it'll just make a better absorption of the nutrients. Woo, flinging rocks. Better absorption of the nutrients into the ground. So that's two benefits of doing this. It's a little bit of a gamble because we need rain. If I don't get any rain, then I may be doing the wrong thing. This pasture could dry out, could not regrow, although there is some pretty good regrowth on what the cows have already eaten, the stuff that I mowed and topped the other day. So, yeah, it's really kind of anybody's guess what's going to happen.
I'm up in the shade of the cemetery right there, top of the big field. I'm just checking out what the temperature difference here is this early in the morning. Pretty profound. It's chilly in the shade here. We're just out there in the sun. It's quite warm. We're expecting about a 90 degrees today. I don't know what the temperature humidity index is over that. Just trying to stand this reel up a little better because it's leaning on the fence quite hard. I got to put some of those timeless fence posts along this long line. Here I didn't put enough uprights in because I was running out of material. Anyway, so I wanted to give, by the time the cows are up here grazing, this shade spot will extend out about 8 more feet. So I've given them a double, almost triple width space here so they can all be up here in the shade distance as they desire, because I don't have anything to feed them at the barn today. So keeping them in would have been practical, but I really screwed up. Those 2 bales that I baled fresh and fed out, I should have really wrapped one of them because the 2 of them were way too much feed for the amount of time, and given the heat, the cows eat less. So basically 1 or 3/4 of one of those bales was wasted because it just went south so fast. It's one thing when it's pickled, you can open up a bale and it will last for quite a while once it's ensiled. But just to take a fresh grass bale, it starts developing heat in the core pretty quickly. It starts cooking the grass by the end of day 1, and if you don't get it broken up and spread out to dry out a bit, anywhere that's clumped up gets moldy right away within about 3 days. So they didn't eat it as fast as I was hoping, and I should have been aware of that because they were also grazing half day, in the night. So today I'm going to give them that shady spot. I'm out at the schoolhouse field raking and baling all day today, and I'll be wrapping into the night, I think. I'm going to try see where 24 bales gets me in that field, and whether I've got a lot more to do tomorrow or not. But I think with raking and getting started, fingers crossed the baler actually works. Then I don't want to be too ambitious today because it's only getting later. So, and I also don't want to get that whole place baled unless there's only 24 bales, which I think there's a lot more than that. I don't want to get that whole place baled and find out I can't get the bales out, because it is awkward getting in there. Owner has a much smaller tractor than ours, and it's he rutted it up in the spring, and those ruts are really deep right there. There's a bunch of junk in the way. I think I'm just going to have to stop and remove today just to make it easier, so I can kind of not drive through those ruts. So I'm a little nervous about getting all the stuff. Well, I got the tractor and the mower in. I should be able to get the rake in easily. Getting the baler in is another issue, but I should be able to do that. And if I can get the baler in, then I can get the bales out. It just hits a long, slow climb up out of the other side of the valley, or on that side of the valley. We're at the peak here, and it breaks both ways, so they're down a hill on the other side of the valley. So hauling the bales up and out of there and through their front yard is going to be a bit of a challenge and just take that much extra time. So it's definitely going to be on the order of an hour a round trip to catch 6 bales, which is ridiculous. This is definitely one of those cases where having an infield wrapping setup would be the way to go, but my buddy is back at work, and even if I were to borrow his tractor, it would still be slow going, because I don't have a second set of hay hands, the grapple. So I'd have to have a grapple on the tractor and one here in the yard, because I can only, well, anyway, I don't know. I don't have one set up on the, and that's not an option today. So I've got to work up to getting one of those self-loading infield wrappers to trail behind ones, because that would save me a lot of trouble. All right, let's get milking. That is it. That is a wrap
not quite. I got to wrap these bales. That's the end, the last 4 bales out of 22 bales here at the schoolhouse field. And I just give you a little glimpse of, I'm up at the top of the valley, and it's about a 600-foot drop down to the bottom there. And yeah, I lost a few bales. I mean, I dug them out, but despite my best efforts, they rolled away from me and went everywhere. So it's been about 3.5, 4 hours collecting bales and getting them back to the farm. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I didn't make it. So, I am tired. It's been a long day. Oh, come on, I'm whiffing it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I got over here at 10 and started raking. And it is now, you got the time there on my phone, it's about 6 o'clock, going on 6:30, somewhere in there. I still gotta go home and get these back and wrap bales. I spared you the details of baling and raking, but it was a dream. Today was lovely. I was nervous that the baler wasn't gonna work. Worked almost flawlessly. The bale ramp issue, I gotta dig into that. That's, fortunately, it's easy to resolve. It may just be that that new sensor doesn't work right compared to the old one. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna get these bales strapped on here and head back to the farm and wrap. I hit this field 7 years ago, and these folks had just moved here. I was doing it for old Melvin, the fellow who passed without the legs, double amputee. And we used to be able to go in a different way. The way in now, I have to wend my way through their orchard without damaging anything. And they kicked Melvin off of here a few years back and have been haying it themselves. But there, he's laid up with a bad shoulder and a bum hand, and he said I might as well take first cut. It'd help him out, and that way he could maybe be healed up by second cut. Do it himself. They've just been selling the bales. So anyway, it's great looking stuff. I'm really grateful to have it, that's for sure. And 22 bales, nothing to sniff at. I was hoping for a lot more, but then I don't know how to judge. I don't know how to gauge. I did up the pressure on the bale. I did back off on the soft core tension a little bit because I have found some of the bales I've made have been a little bit too hard for the cows to eat because they're packed so tightly at the core. So I did, because the windrows, because the new rake is making the windrows better, I don't have to bale as if I've got really skimpy windrows. And the baler worked great, the rake worked great, the windrows were big, a little bit too thick at times. Like I said, I'm running the tractor at its limit, really. I mean, I could definitely use another 20 horsepower at least, and the baler would be great. I wouldn't have to go so slow. But yeah, beautiful estate here, beautiful property. Grateful to the folks who let me hay it. And I just picked up another field, one that I did back when I used to hay for Melvin a long, long time ago. So that's, I'll do that field this week coming up, maybe this weekend. I'm still waiting. I know that the Fords texted me a bunch about the Bobolink field. I've got permission to go ahead and start cutting that. I was thinking about doing it tomorrow, but I'm hoping that we're supposed to get a lot of rain Friday or into Friday, and it was predicted that we were going to get some rain this afternoon, and There sure were some big thunderheads, and it got dark there for a little while, but I don't see any. It's still bright and sunny. I don't see any overcast clouds that look like rain at this point. All right, home again, home again. Jiggity jig. There's this trailer parked up. I should walk the dogs too. They've been gone all day. They probably need to go. All right, that's it. That's a wrap on 22 bales. Bonus silage-ish. Pretty high quality stuff. I probably could have turned up the pressure on the baler a little bit more than I did. I forgot that I turned it down for Rilo's hay. So I have to double check my setting and go back to a little bit above what I had before. Because these could have been a little bit tighter. But happy and good all along. I've got to go help. Allison came home a little while ago and is milking cows, so I got to go plug in the cow milking.